Line 6 Elmsley is an original amp design that was released in our 3.60 Helix and HX firmware update. It's a great sounding and very interesting model that was created by Sam from the Line 6 sound design team. Our sound design team are fully capable of working either in the analog world with real electronics and circuitry, or of working in the digital world where they can create amps and effects that wouldn't or couldn't normally exist. In this case, Sam took his knowledge of traditional guitar amplifiers and used it to create a digital amp design that's not available anywhere else. Now it also turns out Sam is really into magic tricks, and for the name he took inspiration from the famous old Scottish magician Alex Elmsley. This also explains the icon with the clubs, spades, hearts and diamonds. Alex Elmsley was also famous for a card trick that used to ghost count when counting cards. It kept some cards hidden and became known as the Elmsley count. Now the Line 6 Elmsley has its own hidden layer. Sam wanted to be able to layer different saturation characteristics across the lower and upper frequencies, and he did this by using a crossover to split the signal path just after the first gain stage. So the low frequency path is then sent to a relatively mild cold clipper that only distorts one side of the waveform, and it only generates even order harmonics so it sounds thick and warm. The mid and high frequencies go through a much higher gain section that's more reminiscent of a traditional mid-gain distortion circuit, and those two signals then rejoin each other just before the tone stack. So this keeps the bottom end smooth and present, but it gives the mid-range and above lots of sparkle and definition. The power section also has a cool feature in that you can dial in the amount of negative feedback, or NFB. Normally this isn't a feature you get to play with on guitar amplifiers. The negative feedback loop is a way of taking a bit of signal from after the power stage and feeding it back into the circuit before the power stage, and this reduces noise and keeps the signal cleaner, but it also completely changes the response. On Elmsley you can control the amount of NFB from loose and jangly right up to tight and punchy. Now this is also the section of a guitar amplifier where you'll find the presence and depth control, and they are controlled by how you EQ that negative feedback signal. The more NFB you send, the more effective the presence and depth control will be, and if you reduce it, you will find that those controls become less and less effective. Sam voiced the Elmsley amp using the Blackback 30 speaker. He liked how its darker sound complemented it, so you might want to try that first. So hopefully that inspires you to go and do some playing with the Line 6 Elmsley amp model, or at least go and try some magic tricks. As always, thank you very much for watching.